Welcome back, family travelers. Currently we're at the Crowne Plaza Harbor Hotel near the Long Beach port, and we're about to embark on a 7-night Mexican Riviera cruise with Carnival. So we figured for this first video of our Carnival cruise series, we would show you some of our first impressions, which probably will include things like the embarkation process, boarding process, all of that, and maybe how it differs a little bit from some of the other cruise lines. And then also just first day things, things like meeting your wait staff maybe, or pools, how crowded it is on the first day. So we'll get to all that, but for now, we have to go print our luggage tags and Uber over there, and we will see you there shortly. Real quick before we leave, one thing to mention, if you are looking for a pre-cruise hotel, check out our video that we made on how we book our hotels, because it's how I found a really good rate on this Crowne Plaza when the other ones were super expensive. So we'll link to that one too.
Kind of chaotic in here. There's a lot of going on. Normally they just grab your bags and go, but
There's a lot of people here, but the lines are moving really quick. You just have to have all your stuff ready to go because it's like boom, 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 boom. So have your boarding pass ready, and then you'll just like breeze through the line, or at least we did. That the lines move super fast. They move super fast until just after security, and then you see a whole nother line. All right, quick summary because it was very loud. So we have made it through the last of our check-in process. The lines moved pretty quick up through security. After that, the last part, where they do just like the final check, that was a pretty long line. That took a while. So it may depend on like what your check-in or arrival time is, but that was kind of the case for us. It took us an hour to get through that last line. Everything else was pretty quick. Actually, our boarding time was announced before we even got through the line to check in. So that was a little unfortunate, but at least we can board right away now. Also wanted to mention, it's a little bit more chaotic of a process than what we experienced on Royal Caribbean and Disney. There are a lot of people, and you can kind of like figure out where you need to go just based on like the lines that form, but there's not a ton of direction. It just gets a little bit more clustered in here. Royal Caribbean and Disney, I felt like kind of had it together a little bit, like it was just a little bit more organized, but that's okay. We made it through. We knew where we were going. It wasn't that hard to figure out. It's really hot in this building. That's going to be the theme of the week, though. We're ready for it. We're here for it. We're hungry, so we're going to go board. Okay, I lied. We're not boarding yet. We're standing in another line getting ready to board. Finally!
made it on the boat.
Woohoo! That took maybe like an hour and a half from when we arrived at the terminal until we are officially on the boat. So not too bad, but more lines than we have encountered on other cruise lines.
Monster Station class in a casino?
Okay. Kind of had to use the bathroom, so I was thinking this was just going to be like a quick check-in, but there might be some sort of performance that we're going to be watching. I don't know.
This is Monster Station B4, and
oh yeah. Do anything else?
Nope, I think that's good.
There's a nice variety here. Pretty jazzed about this.
Oh man, finally. Alright, let's see what we got. Oh, that's actually pretty good. Like, we gotta be honest, I was boarding and comparatively I wasn't expecting a lot from the food. This is actually, it's a pleasant surprise.
What'd you get?
I got pork butt, some beans, Other beef, mac, everything.
Yeah. After we checked in, they told us to go to the buffet, but when you log into your Carnival app, it tells you everything that's open food-wise, and the Pig and Anchor pub was open, so we decided to go for it because I'm sure the buffet is probably really crowded.
1, 2, and smile! Yeah, make it beautiful for the food. Yeah.
Thank you. It's time to go to Flavor Town. It's apparently Guy Fieri themed. I mean, look, so far so good on the food. It's actually not at all what I was expecting. Come on in. It's palatial.
Oh, look at how much room we have.
Wow, wow, wow. Okay.
It's actually pretty quiet in here, and we're right off the pool deck.
That's true.
Okay, we've got this nice thing. Cool. So we'll do a whole stateroom tour in a separate video of just what our room looks like. But this is the first time we've had an interior room before. Nick's a little claustrophobic, so normally we try to get balcony rooms, but we're gonna see what the interior experience is like. So far, it's cozy, certainly cozy, but we will be checking the place out. We just got to our room, it was ready right on time, so now we're gonna kind of like set up. We don't have our bags or anything yet, so we're just gonna set our stuff down and then probably go out somewhere, but this is the place.
50.
X.
Car X.
I will say, I like the elevator system on Carnival. There's a little machine where you pick which deck you want to go to, and then it tells you which elevator number to get into. It's a little bit better organized than like Royal Caribbean took freaking forever to get anywhere, but I'm digging this so far. Digging it.
I think we found our first relaxing spot.
The adults area. I never get to come here.
When you're on vacation, but it's also Ohio State versus Notre Dame.
Let me tell you, it's a pickle to figure out how to stream games when you're at sea. We haven't left yet, but now Hulu was blocked from our internet package. But if you download the ESPN app and log in with Hulu, then you can watch it. So,
God, are you smart?
if you fall under the same category, save yourself a little time and use that strategy because it works. Now, you will need to get the internet package for like, we're at port still, but we're leaving. This would obviously cut out if we didn't have like the Wi-Fi package, but with the Wi-Fi package, we should be able to maintain it while we're at sea. What are you doing?
Gotta get a last second FaceTime in with the kiddos.
We're officially sailing away. Our sail away time was 4:30. It's 5. It's just only a half hour late, but I think it took a long time for everyone to do their muster drills. So if this is you coming on the cruise, do it when you get on so that, you know, they don't have to make a million announcements like they did for us. But we're out of here. We're probably going to go explore. We have the late dining, so we're not actually, it's only 5 and we're not actually going to dinner until like 8. I don't know what we're going to do with ourselves until then, but we'll find out. So we've had kind of just like a relaxing last few hours, just really wandering around the ship and just trying to get our bearings. But it's almost dinner time. So we're doing the late dinner, which is at 8:15. That's something that's new for us this cruise because every other time that we've gone on a cruise, we've done the early dinner. So this will be new. The other thing that's new is we've always sailed like with the kids and with a group, so we've always had kind of like a large table. It's just the two of us on this cruise, so we don't even know like what to expect in terms of if we're gonna have table mates or if how many table mates. So we're gonna find out tonight. But there is a little bit of anxiety involved because we tend to, how do we put this? We like to order a lot of food when we're, at our dinners, like, multiple appetizers. Sometimes Nick will get a multiple entree dishes. And I mean, to be honest with you, I'm gonna do it anyways. I don't care what the people think, but it would be nicer if we were by ourselves, so it would be slightly less embarrassing. I do have the excuse of being preggers, so, I can get away with pretty much any of that kind of stuff.
It's game day, so I'm a little bit distracted. A couple of first impressions. Overall, pleasantly surprised. And I'll tell you why. Because I had the lowest expectations coming in. We got this for stupid cheap, and we're in an interior room, and it's our friend group. I don't know if they're snobby or not. I'm gonna go with snobby because they've described this as like the Spirit Airlines of cruise lines. So I don't know. Tell us in the comments below what your take is on Carnival. So really, honestly, I was expecting like that whole like Southwest boarding, and the boarding process, I gotta tell you, that was pretty terrible. It took an hour and a half from dropping our luggage off until we got on the boat, and it was all waiting in line. So that part was terrible. But the first meal, I'm like still thinking about the barbecue. That was good. That was some good stuff. What else was there? Oh, the guy's burger joint was delightful. We got the burger of the day. You were saying something about thinking the ship looks a little bit like dated or like stereotypical like 1980s cruising, even though this is a newer ship. I'm not sure I agree with that one, but I can agree to disagree on that.
To be clear, everything is like has been super clean and all that, so I'm not trying to say like you're gonna come on here and it's like this like rundown ship. Like it's a new ship. The decor is just a little bit different from like Disney, obviously. I mean, they're two totally different experiences. So I think that like the decor just reminds me of being in like Vegas. Like, I don't know, everything is just designed so like old school. But again, like I feel like it's just differences. Like these are pretty obvious differences, but I also like don't want it to come across as like super harsh because let's be honest, like the price we paid for Disney versus the price we paid for Carnival, like your expectations cannot be the same going into that because they're drastically different in terms of what we paid for. So I'm not trying to like make direct comparisons to like Carnival and then like Disney or Royal Caribbean because we just didn't pay that kind of price. But I think that it's interesting just to kind of like see what some of the differences are. So when you're planning your own, you kind of know like what you're looking for, and then hopefully this helps you. But I think that Disney and Royal Caribbean, the main part of the ship, like it just seemed a little bit more open, so it was easier to find things. Here, it's taken me a while to get my bearings because it's like just more like hallways, and it's just not quite as open. So I'm sure after like a couple days it'll be fine. We'll figure out where everything is, and then it'll be no problem. But like trying to figure out like where the elevators are and stuff, it's just a little bit more of a scavenger hunt on this ship than some of the others we've sailed on. But I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think you just have to figure out like what you're looking for.
Apparently I struck a nerve and she thinks I'm calling her a snob. I'm not calling you a snob, I promise.
It's just the other ships, we had the kids, so we obviously had bigger rooms. Like the expectations, I'm not trying to compare them in terms of like, I feel like we would have had to have a direct comparison, like bringing the kids and doing a balcony room, and for it to really be like a true comparison. but just a couple of things that I've noticed. We're gonna get to know the ship. We'll see how dinner goes. I've heard the food is terrible, but so far good experiences.
All right, well, it's nice. You're close to people, but you're not sharing a table, so you can still have like conversation and stuff. Kind of nice. You have the QR codes for your dinner again.
I'm not ashamed.
So good.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That seems like a questionable.
Good, not great. Calamari, you always have to like, if it's not a good restaurant, it's always terrible. So I have high hopes now. I mean, I was expecting it to be like really rubbery, but it's not. Nice.
Okay, but you said good, not great.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's not the best calamari I've ever had, but it's far from the worst. And I would order it again. And I'm gonna eat the whole plate. So like, normally I don't finish a bowl or a plate of calamari.
How's that Caesar salad?
You have to roll me to the room.
Alright, we're back in the room after a delicious dinner. It's a little bit like the boat's swaying a bit. I thought that the Atlantic side was supposedly like a little bit more turbulent than the Pacific, but maybe it's the other way around. I can't remember, but anyway, we can definitely feel it. It's not like neither one of us gets seasick. And actually, I kind of like it when I'm sleeping, just like a gentle rocking. So it's not bad, but you can definitely feel it. Although there is supposedly like a tropical storm in the area. I don't know that we're around it right now, but I know that's like somewhere around here. So that could be responsible for it as well. Anyways, dinner. So it was very good. We ended up sitting with a table of 2, but you're pretty close to your neighbors. So there's another couple next to us, and then we had an empty table on the other side. But they do have like 2 people tables. You're just, they're not super spread out. So I couldn't imagine like having the kids at one of those 4 people tables. They'd be like everywhere. It'd be nuts. But it was nice. I will say too that when we were on Disney and Royal Caribbean, I feel like one of the really nice things about dinner is that like you really got to know your waitstaff, like formed a connection with them. But the waitstaff like only had 2 tables, I think, each. On Royal Caribbean, like they only were working with 2 tables. The waitstaff here, I don't know that happens as much because they were just running all over, like they had a bunch of tables. It was so good. The food was delicious and the waiters were super nice. I think it's just a little bit different. It's not as upscale, I guess, but perfectly fine for me. But you didn't have like, on Royal Caribbean and Disney, you also had like the white tablecloths and they would come and like scrape your crumbs and stuff. But like, so, you don't have to like that extreme level. Like they didn't do that here. So those are like some of the differences, but the food was good and I can't complain about it. Overall, good first impressions, beat our expectations that we had before we came on the ship. But we're gonna do a lot more exploring. This is only day 1. We're gonna call it an early night because we are still on Central Time and we're tired. And the late dinner thing, it's going to take an adjustment for us because it's like 10 p.m. Chicago when we have dinner. We are going to go to sleep, but we'll be back tomorrow with some more exploring the ship, and we just have a lot coming your way over the next 7 days. So stay tuned, but for now, good night.